Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? Well, we've got the information for you right here. And Dave's going to tell you about it.
Absolutely, guys. We use this awesome application called Anchor FM. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First off, it's free.
And who doesn't like free?
Yeah, free's huge. That's what got us involved with it. Second of all, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. So you don't need all those fancy gadgets. You can have them if you want them, but not absolutely necessary.
Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and many other platforms.
Which is great. More people can hear us.
Who doesn't want more people to hear us?
I mean, I like to be heard.
I like to talk.
Another great thing is you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Like 0 people could listen to you and you could still possibly make some money.
That's amazing.
How does that even happen? It's everything you need right here to make a podcast in one place.
It's a one-stop shop and it's all you need. Anchor FM.
Yeah, so you guys, if you want to start this podcast, go to anchorfm.com to get started. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Apogee Fitness Podcast, coming to you from the Apogee Therapy Center recording studio. My name is David Carter.
And I'm Kevin Harrington.
What's up, dude?
What's up, buddy?
Man, I missed you last week, but yeah. I will tell you what. Our boy Brandon O'Connell came in clutch.
Thanks for stepping in there, Brandon. We appreciate it.
Brandon is, I mean, we thoroughly discussed last week how much of a good dude he is.
Yeah.
But I don't think I can overstate it. Brandon, you're a good dude, man. I thoroughly enjoyed listening to the podcast over after we were done, and you did a phenomenal job.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, man. So, Kev, what have you been up to, man?
Not much. Getting over being tired from like 3 weeks of just, or 4 weeks of just straight working. Photos, vacation, that kind of stuff.
Dude, vacation, it's almost...
vacation will wear
very
you
exhausting.
out. It is.
Yeah, we're leaving actually tomorrow for another... We've been on vacations a lot lately.
It's because everybody's going on vacation.
We're making it up.
Yeah,
we're making it up from last year. Yeah, my family's leaving tomorrow morning for Michigan for a week, so...
Congratulations. Safe trips.
Yeah, man, for sure. So, did you watch that Conor McGregor fight?
I did watch it, yes.
What did you think about it? Did you actually buy it?
I actually bought it.
You did?
I did.
What a ripoff.
I watched I watched all the cards. I watched all the fights, so it was just, it is what it is, man.
What do you think about his tibia?
How's he going to fight with a titanium tibia? I mean, a titanium shin now?
That is a good question. I mean, most implants now are titanium, but I'm not exactly sure how much of the tibia is titanium and how much is bone now. But that's a good question for Dana White. We should get him on the phone.
Well, I mean, if you give me a titanium shin, like the whole thing, I'm just gonna kick the shit out of you for like days, because I'm not gonna break my shin anymore.
That's right.
And he actually, if you follow Conor McGregor, he had like a video update. He's like strolling around, riding around on one of those scooters with his leg elevated.
Of course.
And he says, "Look, it's titanium rod." He goes, the doctor told me it's unbreakable."
Yeah, man. It'll be interesting to see if he fights again. Let's talk a little bit about today's guest. So, we have been excited for this one for a while. We have Colin Medlock from Lean Kitchen. So, Lean Kitchen is a franchise. I believe it started in Missouri, and Colin recently opened one up here in Greenville and just opened up a second one. So, I'm looking forward to kind of hearing his story, to how he came up with the idea of buying into this franchise and how it grew so fast and everything in between.
I'm excited about it too, because it's the cookie cutter. I want to know if it's like the cookie cutter places that have like, hey, come in and buy our food and we'll give you nutrition. What makes them different than places like that?
We are about to find out. What's up, dude?
Hey guys, how you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man, thanks for coming over. How's that mouth?
We're getting there.
All right, so we were supposed to have Colin on, I think it was, 2 or 3 weeks ago?
It's been about a month, close to it.
Okay, yeah. All right, and he called me up, and he was like, man, I have to have emergency dental surgical procedures, and it sounded pretty bad.
You don't go to the dentist for a couple of years, cavities will stack up.
It happens, man, it happens.
But we're in good shape now.
Good, dude, good. How long were you swollen for?
Just a couple hours drilling on myself.
Oh, it's not bad.
Yeah, it could be worse, but
Did your wife give you some tissues, clean you up and stuff?
of course.
She give you like chicken broth and say it's gonna be okay.
Well, fortunately, I have a supplement in store that is chicken broth. You just mix it with water. You're good to go.
Oh wow.
Perfect.
So
Dude, my wife would just be like, all right, you stay in that room for a while. I'll see you in 2 days. Don't talk to me.
I don't believe that for 1 second.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. All right, Colin, is this your first podcast interview?
this would be the first.
Awesome, dude.
Pop.
There it
That's
is.
all it is, man. I love it. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. The audience kind of likes to get to know who we're talking to before we get into like the meat and potatoes. Bum bum bum. Bad dad joke. Of the conversation.
Puns are free.
Puns are free. So tell us a little bit about your upbringing, where you're from, your education, any athletic background. Let's just start there.
Sure. So I did grow up in Greenville, born and raised. Parents moved out to Travelers Rest when I was in middle school. Bought some land up there, and so moved up to TR, went to Blue Ridge Middle School and high school. Grew up swimming, swam my whole life. I was fortunate enough to get to coach the Sale Recreational Swimming League in Greenville for 5 years through high school and the beginning of college in the summers.
Cool.
So that was a big part of my life, just being a swimmer. Went to Presbyterian College down in Clinton, South Carolina. It's where the T is sweet and the T is silent. I don't know if people still make that joke or not, but Clinton.
Yeah, I know.
Gotcha,
I called it.
All
I
right.
was about to say, oh, it's Clinton or Clinton.
Yeah, it depends on who you ask, but
Say it again for us so everybody hears the official way.
Clinton, South Carolina.
Perfect.
So I got out of PC in 2011, went into retail management and then sales and management, and 10 years later, here we are at Lean Kitchen.
Now, did you say you swam for PC?
I did not.
You
No,
did not?
I hung up the jersey after high school.
Hung up the trunks, huh?
That's
the
right.
Speedo.
Yeah, there you go. The
Yeah.
Speedo.
Believe it or not, I used to swim too.
Did you do the jammer or the Speedo?
I did the Speedo until jammers became the status quo. You know,
Good for you,
I
man.
really I admire those who maintain Speedo
Of
throughout.
course. I feel like if you're a swimmer, you have to maintain that.
Jammers never came around when
It's
I was
bro
swimming.
status. You got to wear the Speedo.
I gave up swimming in 92. Actually, no.
Dude, don't date yourself.
88. I don't want to date myself.
So what strokes did you swim?
So I was a freestyle and butterfly.
Okay, so you sprinter, long distance, or
Oh, we're not long distance on anything.
yeah,
here.
you're not
No,
super tall, so
No, we're going sprint
yep,
and out the pool.
nice, dude. Butterfly is a tough one, dude.
Thank you.
You can
Was
grow
that-
your lats.
Was that something that the stroke that just kind of grew on you as you progressed through swimming, or was that like your stroke from the very beginning?
I started out mainly as a breaststroker.
Mhm.
If you ever put me on my back, I was sinking to the bottom of the pool. So yeah.
Did you ever count the flags?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I still
That-
got a
Your
knock
back?
on my head
Yeah.
every time. I mean,
Exactly.
there was no chance I was going to get that backstroke flip turned down.
So I was a huge swimmer when I was a little kid. That was a huge part of my life up until I was like maybe 10 or 11. So like 5 years, 5 to 11. So I guess that's 6. But backstroke, man, I loved it because you could breathe the whole time.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
It is very true.
Yeah. So,
I actually did well in backstroke. I hated it, but I could always do well in it.
yeah, you can breathe the entire time. I mean, occasionally you're swallowing water, but it's not like butterfly, that's for sure.
Ooh, it
How
was-
far could you go without having to breathe?
I could make it from one end to the other, 25 meter
25
pool very
meters?
easily. Usually there and about halfway back.
Same.
At my prime.
Same.
So
Nice, dude. All right, so did you play any other sports other than swimming, or was that
that was
much
pretty.
it?
I did run distance, for track and field. Did not do cross country because it was the same season as swimming, but used to love running distance. Did Cooper River Bridge for 6 or 7 years growing up through middle and high school, and then,
And that's where we
and then our
diverge.
knees start to hurt.
Sure. So what did you major in? Did you say what you majored in at PC?
It was business management.
Business management.
Mhm.
Okay. Did you, while you were in college, did you have any direction on where you kind of wanted to take that? Did you know you wanted to be somewhat of an entrepreneur eventually, or what were you thinking as far as when you were in college?
I didn't really. I was like first generation college grad. My dad has worked at Mitsubishi Polyester Films and for 40 years in Greer, and my mom, she started in a career and then went into teaching after that first career, and so they were just excited to see me go to college. And I graduated, and it was like, okay, what do I do now? Fortunately, PC did prepare me for the outside world. I think that's the great part about a liberal arts college. You kind of get educated on everything. So I went into management at Target actually for about a year.
Awesome.
And kind of found my way, trial by fire.
You got any brothers or sisters?
I do. I have a brother who's 6 years younger. He majored engineering at Clemson, actually, way smarter than me. He handles all the kitchen operations, actually, at Lean Kitchen. I was able to bring him over from the automotive world last year and turn over the reins of forecasting, planning, kitchen day to day.
That's awesome.
He's the real talent.
So in college, was fitness still kind of a big part of your life after swimming and everything, or was that something that was kind of put to the wayside and you found later on in adulthood?
It was. I started doing my own, I guess, weightlifting of whatever, if that's what we want to call it, when I was in college. Had that summer where I did P90X and just transformed my life.
Of course.
Right? Put the pull-up
the
bar
rabbit,
in your door
the ab
frame.
ripper. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So Tony Horton yelling at you not to eat that donut.
Of course.
Really ingrained who I was going to be for the rest of my life. But so did a little bit of fitness on my own in college. And then, I guess post-college kind of fell off. For years you're up and down as you change professional roles, and it's not a priority. You lose 20 pounds, you gain 30 pounds, and then you kind of find your happy medium.
Right.
So having Lean Kitchen has definitely brought it back to the forefront because you kind of have to practice what you preach.
All right, so talk to us a little bit about your journey from being management at Target to even contemplating buying into a franchise like Lean Kitchen. What happened in between there?
Sure. It's a lot to unpack, but we'll do it as quickly as we can.
We've got time, man.
So,
we've got time.
Went to Target, did the retail thing. You gotta, I think everyone at some point should work in retail or food service.
100%.
I appreciate the folks that do that day in and day out. So did that for a year, and then was introduced to a staffing company. Went to work for a staffing company for a few years. Enjoyed my time there, and then had a buddy of mine say, "Hey man, you're a closet nerd. Like, you're not happy doing this. Go back to school, do computer science. That's you." And got into a classroom with these kids at USC Upstate that were 18 years old, and here I am 25, and they're just coding circles around me. I was like, oh no. So made it through a few semesters of that, and just I didn't know what I wanted to do, Kevin. I just I was trying to find my way, and a friend of mine at the time came to me. He was doing upscale black tie events in Charlotte and Charleston, and music concerts, country music concerts. And he had seen some explosive growth and said, "Hey, I'd like you to come help me just kind of grow this thing, and we'll see where it takes us. Whether it's long term for you or it's a catalyst that shows you what you want to do, I'd like you to be a part of it." And so came on board with him. We had some very large events that went well in 2016, 2017 time frame, and then honestly started talking to an uncle of mine, and he's an entrepreneur. He played professional hockey and then got out of that and went into being an entrepreneur, and he was encouraging me to go the small business track. And he said, you're getting a taste of it now. Go down your own path and see if you can find a franchise. It'll give you the infrastructure and you can execute it. And so I got on these websites, started searching around franchises for sale. Didn't have a clue what I was doing. And towards the end of 2018, I'm scrolling. I'm seeing, okay, there's this national sub place, this national sub place, this national burger place. What the heck is Lean Kitchen? Just pops up, and so, yeah, sure. I grew up eating healthy. To your earlier question, health was kind of ingrained in us at a young age. We ate, slow cook oatmeal with flaxseed in it for breakfast. Growing up,
All right, so I wasn't the only one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. So, so it's always been an interest, and I was like, something like that.
I was just telling somebody yesterday. I was like, "Well, you were eating Captain Crunch. I was eating grape nuts."
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. So, it's all Lean Kitchen. Submitted a request for more info, and 30 minutes later, I get a call from Austin Evans. He's like, "Hey, I saw you submitted an interest." Like,
that's crazy. So that was just a Google search.
It was, I believe the website was Franchise Gator.
Really?
That's right.
And so you just clicked on it, you read about it, you were like, this is very interesting. You saw that, at that point, how many franchises were there for Lean Kitchen?
I want to say there were 2 that were open. They have some corporate stores out in Missouri where they're based, but I believe there was 1 open in Colorado and 1 in Alabama at that time.
Okay.
So very early on. had a great conversation with Austin and said, I have no clue what I'm doing. But my uncle at the time said, go find a franchise, tell them you've got money to start it, and then find it later. And so that was kind of my plan.
Wait, that's what you told him, or that's what you were thinking in your head?
Oh, no, I told Austin I can,
You said you got the money and you can swing it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But, obviously we did get into the nuts and bolts and talk about, hey, I'm going to go find a way to get an SBA loan. I'm going to make this happen. Once I realized it was, well, let me back up a second, actually. Talked to Austin out at Lean Kitchen at length, really liked the concept, had no money at the time. He said, hey, fly out here for a couple of days and just see what it's about before you try to go out and secure financing for this. And so didn't tell my parents, went out there. Turns out my dad actually went to a meeting with my financial advisor, his financial advisor, that's a close friend of mine. And Rob says, hey, how's Colin going? How's it going to Missouri for Colin?
Oh, no.
My dad's like, what? But I went out there for a few days and got to see everything and was like, this is real. This needs to happen. This has to come to Greenville.
That's awesome. So what was the guy's name that reached out to you?
Austin Evans.
And he's the owner.
Correct.
He started.
He and J.R. Roberson. Yep.
Okay.
They're the brains behind the operation.
All right, cool. So when you got back, at this point, are you married yet at this point?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
So I get back and, tell Jen everything. And she's like, well, you got it. If you're passionate about it, pursue it. So ended up going through the 7A SBA business loan process. It took many months to get it going. I think I was the third franchisee to sign on and the sixth maybe to open my store finally.
Wow.
Then you throw a global pandemic in there, which has affected everybody in their own way. That set us back as well. So I think from the time I talked to him to the time we opened was 18 months.
So what'd your dad say?
He didn't understand the concept, which is fair because
Right.
What is it? Is it a restaurant? Do you go and order? Can I order online and get it right now? What is it? It's meal prep,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still very new.
Mm-hmm.
So it took some time, and I think when he saw it, he fully understood it, but it's still a foreign concept to many people.
Awesome. All right. So you got the SBA loan. You had to jump through many hoops to get that. The loan is finalized. You're all in. Talk about the anxiety you have at that point.
Oh, you have you hope and you pray that it's gonna do well, at least pay the rent.
Uh-huh. How'd you guys land the original spot, by the way?
So a friend of mine is also my real estate broker, and he introduced me to the property owner over there in Eastgate Village Shopping Center, and I had to walk him through my business plan and promise that if I sign a lease, I'm going to pay it out no matter what happens. And he's a very nice man, believed in me, honestly. He said, you're kind of the same age as my own son, and I like your attitude. I like what you got, so I'll give you a shot.
So did you know where you were going to open up shop before the loan was finalized, or did you do that afterwards?
We did have to find a spot to have approval
Right.
in order to do that. We looked around for a while, and then that spot was available, and it fit our budget at the time, and it could house a kitchen. At the time, it was a shell. I mean, we had a slab on the floor. We had walls. That was it.
Right.
And so we had to do a complete upfit over there. But there's nowhere I'd rather have my home kitchen, home store.
Awesome. So you set up shop. Did you kind of have an idea of like how many employees you needed? As far as materials to fill the shop, is that kind of included in the franchise? They kind of give you like this blueprint of everything exactly how you need, and you just go from there? Or is this more of like, all right, this is more my shop, I get to set it up how I want?
We did get a general outline of what it should look like. Prior to opening in June of last year of 2020, we did go out, and that's me and my store manager in Taylor's, Austin. We did go out to Missouri for a week back in February before everything shut down nationwide. It was literally like 2 weeks before there were no more like airplanes in the sky. And we got to see everything starting at the beginning of the week to end of the week. Here's how it's done. Here's the equipment. Went home and was given the list of what to do. Here's all the tools
Right.
for your tool belt. Go get them.
Right.
And
So it wasn't really turnkey based, basically. They didn't come in and say, here's your equipment, here's your Hobarts, here's your, walk-in cooler.
Here's what you need.
Yeah.
And so
You had to actually do that yourself.
correct.
They just gave you a piece of paper and said, hey, go buy all this.
With as much support from halfway across the country as possible. Yes. I sourced where to get everything. We did have vendors, and then there's some local vendors that were able to help out.
Right.
And so we work with local folks on all of our equipment, and we're able to get everything going. From an employee standpoint, we did base that on what other stores were doing at the time, and we actually backed it up a little bit because we didn't know when we were going to open. We thought we were going to open in March of last year, and then Lean Kitchen, they like to come out for a week and make sure you're off the ground and a good start and be here for support. And they said, hey, we can't fly right now. Nobody could fly right now. So we delayed it. And then when restrictions kind of eased up in June for that brief period, we said, now's our time. Had no idea what was going to happen. I had myself, Austin, my brother had a full-time job at the time, so he was helping on nights and weekends. His girlfriend, she was a nurse, working as a COVID nurse, and eventually decided to come on board full-time and help people in a different way with us. My mom was a teacher, so she wasn't teaching at the time. She was doing e-learning, so it was nights and weekends. She's going to help in the bakery.
Wow.
And then my brother's best friend is a Marine that's home. Now he's going to Clemson, and he's off for the summer. So come on. That was it. Friends and family.
That's awesome. Wow, it really literally took like a village to get this started, and it's like a village that you grew up with.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's awesome.
And everyone knew going into it. We don't know what it's going to be, but we're going to do what it takes to get it done.
All right, so before we go more into the story of your Lean Kitchen, can you talk a little bit about what Lean Kitchen is? Because there's a lot of people listening to this that have never heard of Lean Kitchen and don't know what concept you're talking about or anything about it. So what is Lean Kitchen?
Lean Kitchen is meal prep. It is healthy, convenient, prepackaged meals. They're never frozen, and we cook everything fresh in our kitchen in Taylor's. We bring it to your doorstep once a week, or you can come into the store anytime and get it. No added sugars, no added preservatives, properly portioned. We have something for everybody, whether you're keto, plant-based, low carb, or you like to just eat chicken and rice like me. We have it for you, and it's fresh.
So what makes you guys different from other ideas of this?
I guess your biggest like for folks listening locally, I guess Clean Eats might be like your biggest competitor. Is that correct?
That would probably, I believe that'd be correct.
Okay.
And they're great at what they do.
Uh-huh.
We're very similar, just different in our own way. The big thing for us is we'll bring it to your door once a week. It's not coming through the mail, which is what a lot of other folks around the country do. They ship it to your doorstep, and it's either frozen or on dry ice.
Right.
Ours is, we make it in Taylor's. We bring it to you in Greer, straight from our kitchen in Taylor's. We don't have a cafe area like Clean Eats does, because we're solely meal prep. Like, that's what we want to do. That's what we want to be great at.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever have people hanging out in your little shop there though and eat their stuff? And
we really don't. We've got some tables out front in Taylor's. Yeah. The goal is to have some tables in the courtyard over off of Augusta here in the fall. But there's no open seating, no seating. Nothing's made to order. So you come in, you grab your meals, and take them home or eat them in your car.
So how far, what's the radius that you deliver food in?
So we do just about all of Greenville County. We don't go down past like Simpsonville, Five Forks, and then we don't go all the way out to Campobello. My mother and father-in-law live in Campobello, so we'll make a special delivery for them. But we don't
say that.
Don't go.
Now everybody's
quite
like,
that
oh,
far.
Why can't you make an exception for me?
That's right.
Just drop them off all at your parents' house, and everybody come pick them up from them.
That's true. There you go. But just about all of Greenville County.
That is something I wanted to ask. Have you ever thought about like having designated drop-off areas for people to just go and pick their food up for the day?
Absolutely.
So that's something that's probably in the works?
It is in the works, yes.
Yeah.
We've got some folks we've been talking to. The biggest thing, just from the capabilities of our platform, just to get into the granular level, is if I offer a free pickup spot, anyone who orders can pick that pickup spot. So if it were to be, say, here, anyone in Greenville could pick the Life Therapy Center
right
as a pickup spot. So do you have enough cold storage for that? Are you having to go out and buy a 3-door cooler overnight, and then who's paying for it?
Right.
So those are just little things that you have to work through to make sure that it's going to be a success if you offer it.
For sure.
But it is in the works.
That's awesome.
Keep
dude.
an eye out.
Yeah, no, I think that I've thought about that over the last year. I was like, man, it would be super convenient for like a Clean Eats to have just like designated drop-off areas, like something that's like 2 miles from my house. I can just, or I've even thought about like at my gym.
There you go.
Hey, I get done working out. There's a Clean Eats freezer at my gym. I get my food, or not freezer. Well, however you store it. Cooler. Okay, not frozen, and I can go.
Yeah.
You know, that would be really cool.
So, and I think too, if we get to the point where we're able to do that at gyms in town, and maybe it drives some new foot traffic, new members.
So
it could be a mutually beneficial relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. So me and Kevin are kind of in the CrossFit community. We've been in the community for a while now, and that's how I first heard about Clean Eats, is just through word of mouth from other CrossFit members. Specifically, one of your really good friends, Kayla Bell.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about what your marketing strategy was when you opened, how you were like, getting your product out to the masses in Greenville County, and then also talk a little bit about the CrossFit community in general, because I know you're at a lot of different CrossFit events. Pretty much every CrossFit event I've been to within the last year and a half, y'all have a tent there. So talk a little bit about how you kind of got ingrained in that community and your marketing strategies.
Sure. So to Kayla. So I went to high school with Kayla in Blue Ridge. We were a year apart, and then when she saw Lean Kitchen was coming to town, she reached out and said, I'd love to be a supportive partner for you, whatever I can do, and got to meet her husband, Justin Bell, and they're just super people. So they've gone above and beyond just to help get the word out around the community for us and been huge advocates for us. So super thankful for them. My wife actually went to school with Casey Hines, Casey and Paul Hines. So got to meet Casey when we first opened as well, and they've also been huge cheerleaders for us as in the community. So we didn't really plan on going that route from the get-go, but just incredible people within that CrossFit community, and here we are.
Yeah, just kind of organic.
It was organic growth, and I mean, the CrossFit community here in the upstate is phenomenal. So to be associated with that community and then be able to support it and feed it, like how fortunate are we? Yeah,
it's awesome. Talk a little bit about, so that's just one little pocket of fitness in this big area.
Right.
Are there any little other pockets that really gravitate towards Lean Kitchen that you've noticed as a whole?
One of our managers, Connor, he's also a coach at the Junkyard.
Oh, okay, great.
So we see a lot of Junkyard folks. We see a lot of booty shop folks. We see just people from all over town. Next door to Pivotal Fitness and Taylor's, and that base of gym members has been awesome and supportive as well. But everyone that exercises, they got to eat. And a lot of folks have families as well. It's not just I'm going to eat Lean Kitchen because it's healthy. It's also convenient.
Right.
So if you've got a family of 4 at home, it saves you from having to cook every night, and you still feel good about what you're feeding your family.
Absolutely.
So what are your? Let me dig down a little bit into more of like the restaurant aspect of it or the food aspect of it. We were talking earlier. You basically have an agreement with Cisco Foods. How do you make? I mean, you said that basically previously you were saying that they send you a book of standards. So I guess they send you the recipes, correct?
That is correct, yes.
So if I went to a Lean Kitchen in Missouri and ordered the same thing, would it be the same?
It should be.
Okay.
Yes. Now I will say, this might be getting into too much of the details, but depending on where you are in the country, there's going to be different food that is available.
Right.
So we use the closest comparable ingredient as we can, and still maintain the macros. That's the biggest thing for us is full transparency. So all of your ingredients, all of your macros are always going to be listed. So,
do you guys have to order your own food, or does Cisco already know what to send you? I mean, obviously we're running out of steak, we're running out of this, they're going to send you that, or we're running out of rice.
Right.
But is it like a certain, you don't have to say the brand, but is it like a certain brand of rice? Is it like? You see what I'm saying? I mean, is it like that way you always know what you're getting.
Right.
You know, you're measuring it out in the cups, obviously, and everything, and you know
Right.
what you're getting.
Using the scales,
Right.
all that good stuff. Yeah, we order from Cisco. It's up to us to order each week. We get multiple trucks a week of fresh food, and it's up to us to forecast what we're going to need for the week. The hardest thing to predict is human behavior and nature, so you don't know what to expect from week to week. You just use your best guess. It can also result in many late nights of cooking food to make sure you have food in the coolers the next day. But we are responsible for doing our own ordering.
So do you guys recommend a certain amount of meals that one should come in and buy?
We do have a la carte meals. You can come in and grab 1, 2, 3 meals, whatever you need if you're on the go. We offer a price break at 10. It drops it down to where you get a reduced rate there, and then a reduced rate at 20 meals as well. So if you're going to be eating, say, 2 meals a day, you can come in and get the 10 meal plan. Takes you Monday through Friday. Or if you're going to have you and a significant other, or maybe you and some kids at home, you can come in and get 20. Also gets you through the week there.
Now, do you guys work with the nutritionist at all?
So we have partners around town that, we're not nutritionists. I can't tell you what your macros should be.
Right.
But if you come in and you're looking for healthy food, hey, I do have it. And also there's these great folks that I recommend you go talk to that can put together a specific plan for you, and they're trained and certified to do it.
Nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm sure you probably get that quite often, people coming in and asking you if you offer that service.
Right.
That's cool, man.
We do. So having partners in the community that can do that for folks, it just helps everybody out.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you source any of your food locally then?
We do. So some friends of mine that own Holy Moly over off Woodruff Road and in Spartanburg, Luis and Lydia Stark, they've been good friends of mine for many years. They do our fresh pico and some of our other produce, and they source that locally. But phenomenal taste. If you haven't had the Southwest Steak Bowl, the squachos with that fresh pico, you got to come get it.
I have to. I'm pretty sure they're at every event right next to you guys.
Yeah.
I always have to get something from y'all, like some protein balls or something, and then I have to get a burrito from them. I mean, it's the best.
Every time I go pick up the pico, you'll find me beforehand getting a bowl for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey guys, we're going to take a break to thank our sponsors for today's episode. We're going to start off with CrossFit Greer. If you're living in the Greer area and are interested in getting started in CrossFit, go ahead and look up CrossFit Greer. Jen and Reagan Green are the owners there. If you mention the Apogee podcast to them, they will give you 10% off your first month's membership fees.
I would also like to thank Blitz Belts and Chris Kane for their continued support of the show. So be sure to use their 15% off coupon code at checkout. That's Apogee, all caps. That gets you, the listener, 15% off at checkout at Blitz Belts on your custom order. I want to thank Goat Tape for being our new sponsor. Goat Tape has committed its brand to providing the best in athletic tape. They are the standard for CrossFit tape, scary sticky. Now they are providing the best in KT tape. So at checkout, be sure to get your 25% off your wholesale purchase. Use the coupon code Apogee at checkout.
Finally, if you guys would like to become an invested friend of the show and are interested in supporting the show directly, go to anchor.fm/Apogee Podcast and click on the support tab. We love bringing you guys awesome content each week, so be sure to subscribe to the podcast, drop a review, and let us know how we're doing.
So are there any kind of plans to open up any more stores in the upstate?
So we
that you can speak of? I mean,
yeah, we're working on our third store now.
Okay.
I can't give too much detail, but we're in the process of getting it up and going.
So you guys opened up for business the original store in June of 2020?
Correct, yeah.
And you're already on your second store.
Third now.
You just opened up the one on Augusta. How long ago did you open that one?
Today will be 5 months, actually. We opened on February 15th over there.
That's awesome.
So it's done well. The community around there has been super supportive. Taylor's and Greenville, the people up here in Greenville are awesome.
Yeah. It's a perfect time to open something like this because, like you said, there's really not much like this here. I mean, I guess Core Life just came in on Woodruff. Mm-hmm. There's been Clean Eats, but other than that, I mean, I feel like the upstate's kind of been like missing this.
I definitely think that. I mean, I thought that in 2018, and I still think it in 2021. I think Greenville County is massive, well over 500,000 people, and growing rapidly. It's big enough for everybody. Jump from one meal prep to the other if you need to have some variation, whatever but we can all be successful and have a great time keeping people healthy.
Absolutely. So
let's put one in Anderson.
Well,
Yes, let's
well,
do it.
You say that. Look out, end of August, early September.
Nice.
Some really good folks out there. Josh and Tara Hawkins will be opening up a lean kitchen
Nice.
by the fall. So
I will be there then.
keep an eye out. First 100 customers get free meals for a year.
Wow.
Don't quote
there
me on
you
that. Don't quote me on that.
Man,
Damn it.
you're not the only one to know that now because everybody's going to hear that.
Don't quote me.
Oh,
there.
man, all those Electric
Oh,
City folks
man.
are going to be lining up at the door.
Oh, well.
So,
It's terrible. It happens.
So do you have the analytics to let you know how many people are solely eating lean kitchen? Like how many meals a day each customer is eating?
We can look and see, how, especially if you online order, how many weeks have you ordered and how many meals.
Mhm.
But I don't know what you had for breakfast, Kevin. I can't tell you how many they're having a day or
Right.
what have you, but I can tell you how frequent of a customer they've been and how many meals they purchased over time.
I got you.
have you ever had anybody say that I eat exclusively lean kitchen for the majority of my meals unless I'm
I
like
did
going
have a
empty?
guy who he ordered for months and months and months, like 20 meals a week just for him. And I'm under the assumption that he had lean kitchen every day, all day. He came in one night right before close on a Friday and he was like, man, I got to tell you, I just moved apartments and I took everything in green canvas bags because I had so many saved up.
That's awesome.
That's great.
That's got to make you feel good as a
put a smile
an
on my
owner.
face for sure.
Wow.
So, and
Have you ever had anybody come in who is just trying to change their life a little bit? Maybe they've gained a bunch of weight and they're like, I saw the ad or people have talked about lean kitchen and, I'm going to start here. Have you ever had anybody come in like that and then seen any big transformations yet?
we have, and that's probably the best part of what we've done to this point with Lean Kitchen is seeing how it's changed lives.
Mhm.
Would you say that's probably some of your favorite memories?
I would absolutely say it's some of my favorite memories. I mean, it makes waking up every single day and going to Lean Kitchen worth it when you know you're helping people. I know that sounds cliche, but it's true. I mean, I can speak to my mother and father-in-law. They both retired last year, and they started eating Lean Kitchen in June, and they ate it every week and walked around their neighborhood, and they were down 30 pounds each.
Nice.
Wow.
They were able to see the change. I was able to see the change, and it felt great to know that we were doing something that could help them get to where they wanted to be.
It's amazing. I feel like a lot of people think that they need to kill themselves in the gym in order to get into shape, but so much of it starts in the kitchen.
Absolutely.
And what you're fueling your body with and how much fuel you're giving your body. They would say like 80% of it is the food and 20% of it is the actual exercise that you're doing.
Absolutely.
So
Proper portions, cutting out the preservative junk that you
Mhm.
don't need, and just being consistent with it. It's
And
got to be something you can do and sustain. It can't be one of these fad diets you do for 30 days and
Right.
hope it'll last forever. It's got
Right.
to be something you enjoy and can keep up with.
Right, exactly. It's got to be sustainable for your lifestyle and a permanent thing, a permanent life change. I think that's it's amazing when you look at food and what it can do as far as inflammation, right? So if you're putting really junky food with all these like peanut oils and vegetable oils in your body, what it does to your joints, and it always presents itself exteriorly with inflammation. I have this conversation with patients a lot. They're like, man, I keep getting this knee pain, this inflammation. They say, like, well, let's look a little bit more outside of the box here. Like, what are you putting into your body to help fuel that body to where you're able to perform a little bit better and your body's not screaming on the inside and presenting on the outside with all kinds of inflammation?
Absolutely.
And that's just something that a lot of folks don't think about, So I think it's cool that you're standing by this motto of no preservatives, everything's fresh. People know exactly everything's well proportioned. They know exactly what's being put in their body, so there's no questions,
Right. And I think what we're doing can serve you after Lean Kitchen. If you decide to cook at home, if you decide to go to the grocery store, and for me, I like to cook once a week. It's therapeutic. I enjoy that, but I know how to do it and what I should be looking at from a portion size and what I should be putting in my body. So Lean Kitchen, if anything, lays the foundation.
Absolutely.
So how do you and your wife go about delegating the duties, to your business?
Before we ask that question, let's ask a little bit about how you met your wife, when did you guys get married, and those details.
Sure. So me and Jen have known each other since we were in middle school. We were just very good friends, great friends, best friends. Spent years apart after college. Went to different colleges, but still went to functions with each other and things of that nature. And then just didn't really talk for several years. And we look back now. We got together in 2018, and we look back like, wow, we never would have been able to appreciate each other. But what a great foundation our friendship laid for spending the rest of our lives with each other.
So you guys kind of just ran in the same circle, or
We did, and
or did you guys actually date when you were in middle school and high school?
if you call it dating,
Sure.
yeah,
What a high school relationship can be.
nice 2-month relationship, and then just best friends after that.
Right.
And it took just enough time apart after college to realize when we crossed paths again, like what were we missing out on for so long? And now we're married.
The rest is history.
So married and baby girl due in January.
Really?
Congratulations.
All right, congratulations. That's
Thank you.
awesome.
Appreciate that.
When did you guys find out it was going to be a girl?
Yesterday.
Really?
Well, so she did do this genetic testing that you can send off to California to know early. All that fun stuff. Because she just can't wait. We got to get started on the nursery.
Right.
So if we count that, it's been a couple of weeks.
Wow, dude,
But,
that's awesome.
baby girl.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Did you guys do any type of like reveal, or you just found out through that? Did you do a reveal for the parents or anything?
We did it for the parents separately, but no one really knows yet. So
Oh, okay.
hopefully there's going to be an Instagram post coming prior to the release of this podcast.
Yeah, well,
Congratulations.
But,
this will probably be released in
this
like
is your
a
release.
week later. So.
yeah, so that post will probably be up a day or two before this.
That's
hits
great,
the
man.
airwaves. But
Congratulations,
thank
dude.
you. We're super
A girl
excited.
dad.
That's right.
I'm not familiar. I have 2 boys, but I do know that being a dad will absolutely change your life in every single way, but it's a good thing.
That's what I've heard.
It's a good thing. Yeah, you don't know until you're there.
Heard you're not ready till you're ready, and you see
I don't
that
think
baby.
I don't think you're ever ready. Like I have a 4-year-old and 2-year-old, and I still don't know what's going on. But it is fun though. Cool, man. All right, so let's get back to how you and
So
your
how
wife,
do you and your wife delegate your responsibilities in reference to the business?
Sure. So she has a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
She's a pharmaceutical sales rep. She drives out to Anderson every day in Columbia. So she's a road warrior.
Who's she with?
Bristol Myers Squibb.
Okay.
She does Eliquis. It's a blood thinner.
Okay.
She's been with them for about 3 or 4 years now. And
She probably knows my wife then.
it's very likely.
Yeah.
Very likely. Out in Anderson.
Yep.
She helps out on the weekends as much as possible. There's been many late nights where we're stocking the coolers at midnight, when we first opened, and we're trying to keep up. And then she'd get up and go to work the next day.
Wow.
So she's a trooper.
All right, so I always like to ask people this question who have started their own business, because I've gone through the same thing. When you're first opening, things are very stressful. You're, like you said, I just want to be able to pay rent. That's like
Right.
the top priority. And then you're like, I want to get people in the door to pay rent.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to and then also just the whole setup of, working with contractors to do a build out and all that stuff. Talk about how that worked with your relationship. Did that put a strain on the relationship a little bit, or were you guys a cohesive team throughout the whole thing?
We were a cohesive team. I'd say, I don't think Jen would mind me sharing this. If so, let's edit it out.
Mm-hmm.
But, she did at one point say, hey, this is taking a long time.
Yep.
Like, you need to get a job so you don't continue to go into debt.
Right.
And my mindset was, if I get a job, I'm going to be complacent. I'm never going to see this through.
Right.
Or if I do, I won't be fighting for it as hard as I am now. So I didn't get a job, and I did what I had to do every single day until we opened the doors. But it was a challenge at times. She's the most supportive person I could ever ask to have in my corner, though.
Yeah.
So I don't think I could have done it without her support.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a solid spouse can really make a small business happen.
Yeah.
My wife's the same. She works full time. She's at the beginning, she helped us out start Apogee. We would go on marketing trips together and all this stuff, and she was still working full time. And it's like, looking back, all the stuff that she did to help me I couldn't have gotten any of this started without her.
No chance.
Not even a chance. So the support that our spouses give us during these small businesses is huge.
Absolutely.
I think behind every successful small business is a successful couple.
Yeah,
for sure.
She, I mean, I can even think back to July of last year when I sent out my first promotional coupon and had no idea what was going to happen, and it exploded 20% off. And I remember specifically that Sunday night before the Monday that we opened and had all these deliveries and pre-orders. And my manager, Austin, stayed with us till 1 o'clock in the morning preparing food. And I said, man, go home. You got to work 9 hours in the storefront tomorrow. And me and Jen stayed till 3, and we're back at 6.
Wow.
You know, and then once time came for her to drive off and do her job, she did it. But those long nights, early mornings, I mean, you look back now, it's fun to think about.
Yes.
You reflect on it, you're like, man, that was awesome.
It was awesome, and then also it brings back this even wave of anxiety. Like, how did I do that? How did we do that? You know?
Yeah, you have no clue how you
Right?
pulled it off, but you did.
I'll look at the schedule or the books of like the first 6 months of us opening, and I'm like, wow, how did we do that?
And you also think, hey,
Yeah.
if we could do that, we can do
Right.
whatever we're trying to do now.
And you opened up during a pandemic, so if you can be successful enough to open up a second location a year after in a pandemic year, like that's saying a lot.
Well, we definitely got lucky in regards to so many folks that came in and said, I've been working from home for however many months now. I'm tired of eating turkey sandwiches every day. What you got?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I got you. Come on in. So a nice change of pace for a lot of people working from home for sure.
What do you wish you would have known when you first started out as a business owner of Lean Kitchen? Like, is there anything specific that you wish you would have known that would be helping you right now?
Without getting too specific, I think the biggest piece of advice I could give myself a year ago was like, it's okay to say no. And don't be a yes man on everything. And just because someone wants you to do it a certain way or meet their needs in this area or do this, saying yes to everybody just stretches you too thin to be really good at what you want to be good at and offer the superior product that you want to offer. So I've learned to say no more frequently in the last year. But when you open your brand new business, to your earlier comment, like you want to pay the rent no matter what it takes, so you say yes to everything. And that'll spread you thin and catch up to you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Learning to say no is probably my biggest
year
one lesson.
Setting parameters, I think, was one of the biggest things for myself as well. You know, not staying till 8 at night to conveniently treat somebody or getting there at 5 for somebody. You know, these are the hours. You come, you know, you get treated.
That's right.
That's good, man. I love that.
Let me ask you this. What would you say your biggest obstacle has been with Lean Kitchen since you've been open?
Since we've been open, I mean, I think there's probably different answers depending on what part of the business you're talking about. But if you look at supply chains across the country right now, I mean, they're in rough shape. And then the food cost has gone up. Plastic cost has gone up if you can find plastic. So the cost of goods and finding the goods to support your business. We don't have a container. I can't open my doors because I have nothing to put my food in.
Right.
So sourcing containers and, you know, Cisco does a phenomenal job of getting us the food that we need. But if you can't, where can you find something comparable and make sure that you have the food to fill your orders? That's probably been the biggest challenge. So we're all doing the best we can in these times.
Yeah, I agree. So, what do you think about your individual? What do you bring to the table? What is your individual skills? Do you think that you bring to the table as far as Lean Kitchen?
Kevin, I don't know if I've ever been asked that question or had to think about it. You know, I get up every day and go to the store and I see all the people that work there. We've got 15 employees now, and I know that they're counting on me. So I want to be the best representation of the brand and work as hard as I can to make sure that everyone has a job day after day. And if hopefully it's possible, everyone has a career at Lean Kitchen too. It can be here long term. It can do great things for them in their life personally and professionally. So if I can be that person that they can either look to or count on to get the job done, whatever that job is, and that's who I'm going to be, what I want to do.
So what are your hours as far as the store in general? I know as a business owner, you're 24/7, but I mean, is like as far as your employees or as far as like we open up at this time and we close at this time.
Right. So we're open Monday through Thursday, 10 to 7, Fridays 10 to 5, and then weekends 11 to 5.
Okay.
So 7 days a week.
And you're at the store 7 days a week?
I would say there's probably been, with the exception of my honeymoon, I may have not been in the store maybe 3 to 5 days since we opened.
Wow.
And that's either traveling or just logistics. But I'm there every day. Yes, usually both stores.
That's awesome. So do you find that Lean Kitchen is blowing up all over the country right now? I mean, how many franchises outside of Missouri and Greenville have opened within the last couple of years here?
I believe there's over 20 that are open now. I could be off by a couple, but I believe it's right at that 20 number. There's over 40 under construction or under contract and growing every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are they in a lot of them in this, like the southeast region, or are they now being spread out all over?
Yeah, there's 2 in Alabama. We've got our 2 stores here in Greenville. As I mentioned, there's the 2 coming to Anderson. And
2 are coming to Anderson?
Well, cat's out of the bag.
Wow.
The first one, yes, and then they do have plans for a second one as well.
Nice.
But the majority of Lean Kitchens are out in the Midwest. I think the general rule of thumb is like, don't grow too far from your epicenter too soon before
Right.
there's the brand recognition and all the things that go along with that from like a how-to franchise thing. But Austin and JR gave me the chance to do it out here, and how blessed are we that it's taken off the way it has.
That's awesome.
Let me ask you this as far as food side goes, and David, you can maybe be able to chime in on this. Everybody knows that food doesn't taste the same anymore. Like when we were growing up as kids, McDonald's, Pizza Hut, they all tasted better when we were kids. I mean, I guess that's kind of a progression over time. I guess it also has a lot to do with what's better, faster, quicker to get it out the door. Your standards kind of sort of change because people don't remember really. They think they do. They think they do, or they think they don't. How are you guys going to keep that same quality from, say, today to 20 to 40 years from now? I mean, obviously, time will change. You have, like you said, suppliers change, things change. But I mean, as far as a long-term vision, how are you guys going to try to sort of stay within the realm of staying the same?
Well, I think one of our guiding principles, so to speak, is integrity. And it may sound like a cliche answer, but like I'm eating that food every day myself. So I'm going to make sure that we maintain the quality. You've put your trust in me as a customer. I'm not going to do anything that will sacrifice that quality. So I believe that Lean Kitchen here locally, as well as a brand nationwide, is very firm in their beliefs of providing a quality product to anyone that walks through our doors. So I don't know what it'll look like in 20 years,
right?
But I believe that it will be every bit as good as it is today.
I look forward to it. I really do.
Absolutely. All right. I've been asking people this question a little bit. Many people and businesses find like social media overwhelming and complicated. Talk a little bit about your platform. What are you doing to try to build your social media platform? Are you running it? Do you have an employee running it? Talk about what y'all are doing.
Oh, social media.
Dude, it's rough, right?
Goodness gracious alive. Yeah. I don't think I'd have one if I didn't have a business.
I say that every single day. If I didn't have a business, I wouldn't have it.
I do, and I enjoy it. I don't run it. So Max to Natalie Digital Marketing. He's a good friend of ours, and was super fortunate to hook up with him a couple years ago. And I remember he was texting me, calling me back in early 2019, like, well, when is there something for me to take pictures of? Like, what's happening? And I'm like, not yet. 18 months later, I'm like, all right, come on, take some pictures and let's do some social. But he runs everything, just does a phenomenal job. Has a real vision for kind of like our branding. We have our brand, but he also does our branding locally, like how can we integrate with the CrossFit community locally, with other people locally, and kind of make it our own. So I can't, it's a struggle for me to make an actual post and feel like I'm doing it right,
Is that something that you knew you were going to hand off to somebody at the very beginning, or was that something that after a couple months of into the business, you're like, I got to grow my social media somehow, I'm going to hand this off?
I knew that I was going to not be the one behind the driver's seat for sure. It's just, know what you're good at, know what you're not. And that is not for me. I have the utmost respect for anybody that can handle social media and do that kind of stuff, because it's not my forte. Max does a super job. I knew from day one, like, I can't do this. Like, put me in a hairnet, an apron, and a beard guard, and I'll go contain food and cook it. And Max, you respond to messages, make some nice posts, and all the other things that go along with the nuts and bolts of social media marketing.
Let me ask you this question: Did you ever work in restaurants before?
I did work at Taco Sushi downtown.
Okay.
For a while when I was in school.
Okay.
Had a great time doing that. I wasn't in the kitchen or anything like that.
Right.
And then when I was at Target, I was over essentially everything on the tile, and that included food and all the go into the grocery store section of Target. Like that was all mine as well.
Okay.
So, but have never been in a commercial kitchen cooking until the kitchen. But fortunately, that's part of the training that they give.
I was about to say, do you guys have like a specific person that cooks?
We have a team. I mean, all of our full-time folks are food safety manager certified through Cisco. So they've all been through the training. The majority of them have a food background here locally with different restaurants that they decided to come share their talents with us.
It's amazing.
So, obviously you're on your third shop. At what point are you going to have enough shops? Have you thought about that? Is there like a certain number of shops where you have a goal, or is it just we'll see what happens and we'll go from there?
I think we'll see what happens as it goes. I mean, we've been very fortunate and blessed up to this point, and the community's rallied around us and seems to like the food that's in those green containers. So as long as they like it, we're going to continue to make it.
Awesome.
After the third, we'll see what happens, David.
So let me ask you this real quick, just so people can get an idea. What exactly do you guys offer? I've looked at the Instagram posts and I see donuts and I see, protein shake stuff on the aisles and stuff, and I'm like, what do you guys offer? I guess is what I'm saying. Like if you had to sell it to me in 2 minutes,
right?
I walk in, what do you guys got?
So Lean Kitchen offers healthy prepackaged meals for on the go. They're never frozen. All of your ingredients will always be listed, as well as macros. Our barcode scan in your fitness apps, and every single container is going to have a date on there because it's fresh to tell you when to eat it or freeze it by. We also have a wide range of supplements that you can come in and supplement your diet with in terms of multivitamins or fish oil or an extra protein that you might want to work in.
So you guys have like breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
So we have breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. If you've got a sweet tooth like I do, I could eat a whole pan of Duncan Hines brownies easily. But I instead go for our brownies most days, which are a black bean base. You'd never know they were black bean if I didn't tell you, but they're just a healthier alternative. Our thing is, hey, we still want the food to taste good, but we don't want you to have to sacrifice the flavor that comes along with good food.
So how do you recommend your customer warm up their food once they got it on Monday?
That's right.
It's Thursday. How do you recommend they warm up the food so it still tastes as great as the day they picked it up?
Right. So when I get home tonight, I'm going to pop open a barbecue muscle maker that has been in my fridge since Monday. I'm going to lift the lid so it can vent, throw it in the microwave for 60 to 90 seconds, take it out and eat it. It's going to taste as good as it did on Sunday.
Awesome.
You guys don't recommend, because my wife will want me to ask this question, you guys don't recommend like dumping it out into like a pan and like reheating it that way?
I do have folks that will come in and they'll say, I don't have a microwave.
Right.
And I've heard from throwing it on the stove, throwing it in something, putting it in the oven, all the way to, I had a lady come in and said she puts everything, even the squachos, in an air fryer, and they're delicious.
I was about to say air fryer. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then last thing, you got to plug Muscle Bites, because can't go wrong with Muscle Bites. Muscle Bites are about 100 calories. It's peanut butter, rolled oats, M&Ms, chocolate chips, honey, and protein powder.
I had some of those the fizz yesterday.
Yeah, that's the protein balls I was referring to.
Yeah, so the recommended serving size is 1, but I mean, I'll down the whole container.
What did you call them? Muscle bites?
Yeah,
all right,
muscle
so
bites.
They were good. I had 2.
I like protein balls better.
Whatever floats your boat, man.
Bites. All right. How has success in your business venture correlated with? We talked about your wife, but like your extended family, they're very much involved. But like your friendships, are you guys able to? You guys have to say no. You said you've had to say no a lot as far as business stuff. Have you had to say no a lot as far as like extracurricular activities, going on dates, or like going out with friends? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We're definitely fortunate in that we do have so much family surrounding us in the business. Brother running the kitchen, his girlfriend being in the kitchen as assistant kitchen manager, my mom being the head of bakery. we've been very fortunate there. So they understand if we're unavailable to go to something, because either they're unavailable too or they get it.
Right.
With friends, I've got the best friends I could ask for. They've all been super helpful, and a lot of times if Jen or I say, hey, we can't do that, they'll say, okay, is there anything we can do to help?
That's great.
You know, my brother-in-law, when we first got started, I mean, he would come and help deliver meals around town just because he knew. I mean, I guess that's what friends are for.
Yeah,
when
absolutely.
you can count on them.
That's huge.
But yeah, we say no to things, and people are super understanding. So we're blessed there to have good friends.
That's awesome. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about your fitness level here. I see you're wearing the Whoop and the Apple Watch.
Double band.
Which one is your go-to?
So actually, thanks to Justin Bell, I did actually try out a Garmin watch for a couple of weeks and had to go back to the Apple Watch because I realized I need it for the smartphone features. You know, I need to be able to see my text pop up immediately, voice to text. You know, I need the smartphone of this, but I need the glorified heart rate monitor that is the Whoop.
Absolutely. So where are you working out at these days?
So I do have a rower and a rack in my garage. I spend some time at Anytime Fitness. I spend some time at Pivotal. I'm trying to make my rounds. I got to get out more, you know, and get into some studios and CrossFit gyms.
Yeah, you should do it anytime you want.
For now, I just sweat it out in the sauna that is my garage here in the middle of July.
I was doing that a lot for a while there, but there is something about being involved in like a community with people sweating around you that pushes. Working out in your garage is 10 times harder by yourself, man. I will never get a PR in my garage ever.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
And it's, I'll be honest with you, David, the first 6-8 months we were open, you know, maybe once a week I'm exercising.
Yeah, that was going to be another question because I know, especially for myself too, man, when we first opened up, fitness wasn't, I mean.
You never got a PR in your garage? Come on.
No, I've never gotten a PR in my garage ever.
Isn't that like the home of bro reps and everything in your garage?
Not by myself.
Okay. Either that or nobody would see the PR and it wouldn't be any fun.
Right. If it's not on video, it doesn't count.
Right. Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Or on Instagram, I guess. But yeah, the first 6 months to a year of opening up something is so stressful, and it's I know for myself, I lost my fitness for sure. Like we had other stuff going on. We had our first son and bought a house. There was just a lot of stuff that happened in that year. Talk about that struggle, and that I'll be honest, for myself, that was a struggle for me because I knew I was losing my fitness, but I am promoting my physical therapy brand, you know?
Right.
So it was like a constant battle of, all right, how do I fit this fitness part in while I'm trying to like build this business? And I'm sure you might have gone through that same struggle because you're trying to promote healthy living style with, you know, healthy food, and then maybe your fitness is going off track a little bit. Yeah. Talk a little bit about that.
No, it absolutely did. Same struggle for me, David. You know, you're promoting healthy lifestyle and exercising. You know, here's our supplements and all those things that go into that. And I'm like getting home and I'm like, oh my gosh, I put in 22,000 steps today. I don't feel like doing anything.
Right.
So we went through that for the 6 to 8 month period when we first opened. And here over the last 3 or 4 months, you know, we've got this incredible team in place now. And they tell me, get out of here and go exercise because they know that it's good for me.
Is it hard for you to delegate?
It's extremely hard to delegate. I'd say that's one thing, to go back to your earlier question about what have I learned in the first year, is you can't do everything. And at some point, you've got to count on others to do it. And a lot of times, they're just waiting for you to ask. So everything I ask from the team, they go above and beyond to deliver. And, you know, they'll say, hey, they used to make fun of me when we first opened, right? Because I wouldn't eat. Like, we got all this food around, and I'm not eating. I'm just go, like I said. And I would put something in the microwave and hit the button, and then come back 3 hours later, and it would still be there. It's like, Colin, eat, sit down, stop, slow down. So we've gotten better at that. We all have.
Good. So you're a soft-spoken person, at least in here you are. I bet it would have to be pretty scary if you were to blow up at your place or like raise your voice at all. Has that ever had to happen, or are your employees just amazing people?
Get out of my
I
sight!
know,
I was
like,
gonna
I can't
say.
stand you guys.
What is this?
I mean,
Do you ever have a Gordon Ramsay moments?
Yeah, right.
I'm kind of the opposite. I'm a louder person, so I don't think Harry ever like raises an eyebrow at me when we're at work. You know.
Yeah, that's definitely. I'd say that's definitely my personality. I'm a little more laid,
Yeah.
I quote unquote laid back. If that's what I'm stressing out,
Sure.
just quietly.
Yeah.
But I am a little bit more soft spoken.
Yeah.
I'll rally the troops when we need to.
That's
for
good,
sure.
man.
You know,
Yeah,
we
I
have
can
some
see that.
fun. We have some loud music before the doors open in the kitchen,
Yeah.
and
it's-
we have a good time. And then we turn Alexa down a little bit right at 10 a.m.
There you go. I love it.
Alexa.
What did we do before Alexa?
Right.
There's a lot of that scares me. There's a lot of that scares me.
That's a whole nother podcast.
It is.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions for Colin before we get to rapid fire questions?
I really can't think of anything because what I do like, I like that what you're saying is, it's all about the food prep. For me, it's always hard for me to do food prep because I'm, like I said, my wife works, so she's not at the home, and I work out of the house. I'm always editing photos and stuff, so I eat terrible.
Sure.
I'll be the first to admit it. I'm talking to you now, and I haven't eaten today.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have ADHD, and I take my Vyvanse, and so that kind of just cuts all that down. And so it's like, but yet I weigh a ton. So it's. I like the idea because it is hard. I've tried to do it, and on the 4th day of the week, the chicken's dried out,
Right.
the rice is gone off, and I'm like, you get frustrated doing it because you see, like I see all my friends, the Bells used to do the food prep all the time. Tanya Cash would do the prep. Well, not Tanya Cash anymore, but Tanya Wells would do all the food prep and stuff, and you'd see all that. And I think it's something that's time has come. I'm excited about the 2 stores you say that are going to come to Anderson.
Yeah.
Because I would always drive to Clean Eats. When I did it, I liked it. The food was good. Unfortunately, I haven't had any of the Lean Kitchen, so I don't have anything to go off of. But it's not McDonald's. It's not Wendy's. I mean, it's not Chick-fil-A. My coach used to always say, well, if you have to eat fast food, eat Chick-fil-A, and then Wendy's after that.
Okay.
So it's. I think where I live, I think it's huge that's going to be there. I think you guys will be the first option because we don't have a tropical grill.
Right.
We don't have healthy options. The only one we have as a healthy option is Mission Grill, and it's a taco place.
Cool.
Obviously we have, what are they? Chipotle. Obviously it's somewhat fresh. But we just don't have those type of options in Anderson.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it's going to be the be end all of end all, but it opens the door for that to come in.
It's an option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, I'm excited. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
Cool.
I really am.
Let's do some rapid fire questions.
Sure.
Bring them on.
You go.
So what's your favorite cheat meal?
Ooh, cheat
Love
meal
it.
right now would be a guilt-free brownie topped with Halo Top ice cream in the microwave for 10 seconds.
That's not cheat meal.
All right, a real brownie with real ice cream.
Yes.
Microwaved for 10 to 15 seconds after eating an entire Domino's pizza.
There you go.
Domino's. It has to be Domino's.
My wife she's a coupon queen. She's going to get that, what is it, 3 for $6.99 delivery. Oh, yeah. We're getting the cheesy bread. We're getting a pizza for us each.
I don't discriminate with pizza. I will literally eat a frozen pizza.
Oh, yes.
That's fine with me. But if I'm going to do a cheat meal like that, I am getting legit pizza from somewhere local.
Really? We have been hitting up Della Ventura's.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. For sure, man.
You get
That's a
full
classic.
pizza
Greer.
for the two of you, but you also have to get a side of spaghetti and meatballs,
There you go.
and then a side of the ziti with spicy sausage. See, there you go.
I love it. We get you talk about pizza. I know we're going off one thing here, but talk about local. We got a place beside us called Dolce Vita,
Okay.
and it's run by Greeks, and they're brilliant people. And that's probably the only pizza that I will actually go and get and sit down and eat. I do like Marco's Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
I'm huge on cheese breadsticks.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course. Who's not?
Yeah.
Who's not?
I'll drink marinara out of a straw.
Yeah.
You're like, come on.
That's the thing for me, man. Spaghetti is one of my favorite things. Excuse me. But it's all about the sauce.
Yeah.
Like
I
a
always-
good meat sauce makes it. All right. As far as adventures, would you rather go hiking in the mountains for a weekend or go snowboarding in the mountains for a weekend or skiing?
We're going hiking.
Hiking?
We're actually going hiking Saturday.
All right,
So,
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, what's your favorite color? And don't say green.
Well, blue.
I like it.
How quick of an answer was blue?
I like it. The only reason why I said don't say green is because your food containers and your bags are all
I feel
green.
like it has to be green by association now.
Of course.
But yeah, you'll see
Okay.
some blue stuff in my wardrobe at home in the closet.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. If I ask everybody this question, if Harrison here gave you a prepaid black card and you and your wife were going to the airport right now after this podcast and you could go anywhere, all expenses paid for, COVID-free restrictions, where would y'all go tonight for a week?
Ooh, buddy. I think like maybe Switzerland.
I love it.
Yeah.
Go to the Alps.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that was an incentive trip for her before COVID that she had just started with the company and so wasn't able to qualify for. But we looked at pictures. I was like, holy cow!
Yeah, see, when
Like,
people
forget-
talk about going to Europe, they always talk about going to Italy or, all the cliche places, Paris. I want to go to Switzerland, and that's always been on my bucket list.
Yeah.
So, it's cool, man.
You got that card, Harrison?
So, what's currently playing right now in your car when you get back in the car?
I don't get to play my music in the kitchen, but I kind of have this like EDM thing, upbeat, beats per minute high, just kind of gets the body going. So I've been listening to Lost Kings. I like them. They're growing. They've got some hits out there.
So, what do you mean by your music?
I don't get to play my EDM in the
okay.
kitchen.
All right.
They have their 80s rock blasting, which I'm a fan of. It gets everybody going. And then they have their rap days too. They have a nice variety in there, but Colin doesn't get to play DJ in the kitchen.
If you had your perfect storm of a workout, as far as like you're going to the gym and I'm going to hit this or I'm going to do this workout, what would it be?
Well, if you can't tell, I really enjoy upper body day.
I was about to say, leg day, you're all about it.
Yeah. Always doing those calf raises.
Good, dude. Good. So any kind of bicep burner, chest burner type thing.
You got
Superset.
it. You got it.
Awesome.
If you weren't doing Lean Kitchen, what would you be doing?
Showstopper. I don't know.
That's a good question.
You know, like
I've
when I back up to my uncle giving me the advice to go into it, he's like, you've just got to get to the point where nobody's going to hire you. So you got no other option. So
Jeez.
he's like, don't go get a job.
Burn your bridges.
Don't you do it.
Yeah.
He's like, if you don't go get a job tomorrow in sales, then you've got your fallback.
Mhm.
But if you just refuse to do it until no one's going to hire you, then you got to do this. So this is it.
Awesome.
So, what are you guys doing to prepare for your child? Other than we already know what it's going to be.
Yeah.
How do you look if you're looking in the future, and you had to tell your daughter one thing
Right.
now,
Mm-hmm.
what would it be?
I would make sure she's educated on the food safety window and internal cooking temperatures of all proteins. No, but we're working on the nursery right now, getting the closet built out so it can house the things and stuff that we're gonna have to put in there. My mind spins when I think about what I'm gonna do with the baby girl every single day. She'll be wearing a lot of green, hanging out the kitchen.
You guys gonna find one of those like Halloween sets and put her like in a green shirt and Lean Kitchen on your front porch?
Absolutely. She'll pop out of the container.
What does a perfect date night look for you guys?
Perfect date night for me and Jen. I mean, back to Domino's, man. Domino's in a movie upstairs in the bonus room.
There
you know, or we'll run over to
in the bonus room just to switch things up.
That's right, man.
Okay.
That living room's getting kind
crazy.
of old.
So,
Little bonus room action.
we love we're about 3 or 4 minutes down the road from Southern Growl.
Okay,
so
perfect.
we jump on 290, run to Southern Growl, get the chicken sando and the burger of the week.
Yeah,
and
you can't
a
beat that
delicious
burger of the week.
craft beverage, and that's our date night right now.
Nice.
Perfect.
Well, prior to being pregnant,
Perfect.
so now I have to drink for both of us.
Well,
Oh, that's gonna be hard. I can tell
super
already.
hard. All right, so where can people find you on the social medias, even though you don't like it?
Yeah, check us out at leankitchenco.gvl on Instagram, and then Lean Kitchen Co. Greenville on Facebook. Our website locally is leankitchencogvl.com, and you can go there to check out our full menu or order online.
Awesome, man. You got any closing words you want to say?
No.
You already said your piece. I'm gonna say it was a pleasure having you on here.
Definitely.
It's great to. I love talking to young entrepreneurs, who have done it. They see it from both ends. They kind of see how things started, and it's cool to see how things progress. And now things are almost like a well-oiled machine, even though it never feels like you're there. But like you guys are there, And I just want to tell you that you're there. You're doing a really good job. It's awesome that you guys are opening up that third shop. I know that the CrossFit community has really backed you guys, and I would say if anybody's talking meal prep, it's Lean Kitchen for sure. So I've been wanting to have you on for a while. It's been great kind of seeing you around at different events. We've talked a little bit, but this is the most in-depth we've ever talked, and I know that I have a new friend.
Absolutely.
So it makes me happy. But thank you for coming on. Thank you for taking time out of your Thursday night to do this. And guys, go check out Lean Kitchen by Eastside High School. What road is that?
Yep, we're over off of Old Spartanburg Road in Taylors.
Okay.
And then right off of Augusta and Ferris in Greenville.
Perfect. And then the third location is TBD. Actually, they know, but they will release it later. So look out for the third location. I know the majority of the CrossFit community will be able to get to it very quickly.
Yes.
All right, bro. You all heard it here.
Apogee Podcast.